Cool. All right. Well, I guess as usual, I'll say a couple things and then I will give it right over to Michael. So, hey, welcome to the 14th cocktail session. 14, that is a lot. I feel like we've been together for so many times. And it's really, really nice to see all you guys. This is probably going to be our final regular cocktail session. We might have pop-ups here and there. And the reason why is because in Chicago, bars are opening back up again next week. Also, I'm traveling, but like our bars are opening up again next week. So I think it's a nice thing to try to go and support the folks that we've been hearing from rather than just like sit at home and drink. So if you've been through all 13 of our previous cocktail sessions, then by now I think you probably amassed like a lot of skills and also like a lot of weird things in your bar that you probably wouldn't have picked up previously. I'm sure you guys are still drinking like a lot of Amaro right now and a lot of cachaça. But tonight, other than just being our final night, I think it's very, very special for me because I am featuring my brother Michael, who's dialing in from Hong Kong. So some of you guys have met Michael because you guys have come to some of our parties. I think one way I describe Michael is he's the kind of person that like when he gets into something, he's going to get into it like 200%. And luckily for us, cocktails is one of those things. So he's definitely got a mind for it. And he's also an amazing teacher. So we're going to use many of the skills we learned tonight to make the Ramos Gin Fizz. Like this is definitely not cocktail 101, probably not 201, maybe 301. So get ready for a good time and a workout, and I will pass it over to Michael.
Right. So how many of you guys have had a Ramos Gin Fizz before? Okay. Yeah. It's a pretty awesome cocktail. I mean, it looks really cool, but most importantly, it's really, really, really delicious. But it's really tricky. And even though, like, I've been making cocktails for probably more than 10 years now, and I can only get it maybe about a third of the time. It's really pretty tricky. So I have a couple of tricks that will hopefully make it easier for you guys. Let me get my cat off first. Everybody, okay. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to separate our egg whites and 1 ounce of cream into a cup. And the reason that I do it separately from everything else is because I don't want the cream to curdle when I let it sit in acid for too long. So first thing again, egg whites and 1 ounce of heavy cream. Okay.
Can we make 2 in a glass, or will it be too much?
I think this one is probably better 1 at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, so it's egg white, 1 egg white, and then 1 ounce of heavy cream or whipping cream. And I'm just doing it separately so that the cream doesn't curdle, because if it sits in the acid for too long, then yeah, it will curdle.
Okay, thanks.
1 second.
Wait, Mike, what are you stirring?
You don't really need to. I'm a little meticulous.
Oh, this. Yeah.
And then if you have a little time, you can start juicing your lime and lemons. So it's a ½ ounce of each, ½ ounce of lemon juice, ½ ounce of lime. Lemon's a little sweeter, lime is a little bit more floral, and so it really adds complexity to use both. And I've already juiced mine in advance.
And when you're juicing them, you don't want to juice it into the same thing as the cream, or else it's going to start to coat.
Wait, what was that, Doug?
When you're juicing them, you want to juice them into a different container than your cream and your egg.
Okay. Because you don't want it to turn into tofu?
Do the cream and egg white go in separate containers?
So they can go together.
They can go, okay.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
they can go together.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, so these can marry? I can just pour it?
Sorry, just to confirm, it was ½ an ounce of lemon and ½ an ounce of lime?
Yeah, so it's equal parts. By the way, you definitely want to have a towel ready, because when you shake the cocktail, it's going to be a really long shake, and you don't want your fingers to freeze to the tip. So you definitely want a towel.
Sounds dangerous. Yeah, good.
Okay, everyone ready? Okay, so I'll start with my acid as well. One second. Okay, so for me, I always like to add my sweetener right after my acid. And so I usually do that before I add any spirits, because the most important thing to balance is actually sweetness and acidity. And no matter how much booze or spirit you put in afterwards, it'll still taste essentially, the balance will still be the same in terms of sweetness and sourness. Now, I like to add extra sweetener to my Ramos Gin Fizz. And so if you look at most sours, like a daiquiri or a margarita, the typical ratio is about 3/4 ounce of acid to maybe a ½ ounce of sweetener. I'm going to double that sweetener. We're going to add a full ounce of 2-to-1 simple syrup. So that's 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And the reason is because if any of you have ever baked a cake, you notice how much, really it's an unbelievable amount of sugar that you put in, but it won't taste too sweet. And that's because the cream is going to absorb a lot of that sugar. Even if you add a full ounce, it won't taste too sweet. And that amount of sugar also fills up the body and makes it nice and thick as well. So it's a full ounce of 2-to-1 simple syrup.
So Mike, if we just have normal simple, we do is 1½ ounce?
Yeah, I mean, technically it'd be 2 ounces, but the problem is that you're going to water it down too much. So if you have a 1-to-1 simple syrup, I'd probably do, you know what, I do 1¼ ounce, and it won't be as sweet and the body won't be as thick, but you won't be diluting it too much, which is pretty essential.
Okay.
So for the Ramos Gin Fizz, you want to be really, really careful about over dilution, and that's because you're doing such a long shake. You're going to be adding a lot of water to it. That's another reason why I have my gin frozen. And it's okay if you didn't have it frozen, but I have my gin frozen for that, so that it doesn't dilute the cocktail.
What?
Yeah.
Can you just, so I have my egg and my cream, and then I have my ½ ounce of each juice. And then what am I putting in the container first?
Oh, so
Like in the shaker?
yeah, the juice and the syrup.
The juice and the syrup, okay.
You don't want the cream to meet with the.
Right, that's what I thought. The syrup, okay. 1 ounce of syrup.
Yeah.
Okay, I've arrived.
All right, so next is the orange flower water. And if you never worked with orange flower water before, it's really, really strong stuff. And you really only need a couple drops. So even if you smell it, you'll be able to tell how strong it is. You only need 5 drops. And in the perfume world, this is called neroli. It's actually not oranges, it's the flowers of a specific orange tree. And so it's not really citrus smelling, it's very floral. Just 5 drops.
The way they make orange blossom water, I think, is like somewhat romantic in that like you just collect all these orange blossoms and they steam distill it. So like they put it like with a little bit of water and they just like boil that water until all the steam collects, and then as that stuff condenses and it comes back down, that's the orange blossom water. So it's got this like delightfully fragrant like.
Actually looked into making it myself and discovered that and decided I was not gonna do that today.
Hey, Michael, if you don't have a dropper, like what would be the best way to measure in like teaspoons or something?
Well, you can use a bar spoon and just like be really careful and count off them around 5 drops. But yeah, less than too much. Because if you have 2 drops too much, it'll totally dominate the cocktail.
Just like that.
Just smell it. Once you have 5 drops, you're going to be able to smell it.
In the desert, the orange blossom water was also used to cover the scent of water that wasn't completely fresh. Back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a distilled, it's basically a perfume. It's distilled without alcohol, of course. Pretty good stuff. Okay, and then next is the gin, and that's going to be 1 3/4 ounces of gin. Again, I like to keep it frozen, but you don't have to.
It was like a tiny bit. Yeah, I got a little bit more than that, but I don't know. And then you just tapped it in. I tried to tap it on this banquet. Wait, what did he say? How much gin? 1 1/4 ounce? No, we're still on meter.
1 3/4 ounces of gin. You can taste it at this point. Yep. Tastes really good. Okay. And then, so once you have that, we're gonna add the well, actually, let's add the ice first. And the last thing we'll do is we will add the cream and egg white. We want to fill it up with ice because, again, it's such a long shake. The more ice you have, the less it's going to dilute. So for my shaking, I do 5 rounds of shaking. So I'll shake until I can't shake anymore because my arms get too tired. And then I'll take a break and I'll do it 5 times. And that usually works pretty well for me. So I'm going to fill this up with ice.
Is this some kind of crazy CrossFit workout? You guys ready for a workout? Yeah.
And then once you get in the ice, go ahead and add the cream and egg white in there. And then once again, just shake until your arms fall off. And then you do it 5 times. Okay?
All right. While everyone,
Special to combine the egg whites and the cream, or just kind of put them in as they are?
Yeah, just dump everything in at this point.
when you guys are shaking, I want you guys to unmute yourself because I want to have all this maracas of like everyone shaking and getting super.
So what I do, by the way, is I wrap the shaker in a towel because it's gonna get really cold. So I wrap it up and shake. Take a break and then shake again. 5 times. You really want to get air in
Hold
space.
on,
How do I
hold on,
hold
top and
this?
bottom, hold top bottom. Or else
Top-
it's gonna explode.
Top and
Top and
bottom?
Yeah.
Like
Don't
this?
wrap it around. Put a good dip underneath.
Like this?
Yeah. And this is do not drop it.
Don't, okay.
Don't just
well,
use a finger. Literally cup on top or else.
like this? Or like, wait. How do I do this?
We're
Like
doing
this?
it like this.
How do I shape it? Is it like this?
Well, yeah, you just want to hold it back and forth. So hold it like you kind of want to hold it like this. Put your thumb on the top here, and your thing on the bottom within the thing, and then throw it away from you and pull it back. Yep. Oh. Woo. Yeah.
Oh,
I think if you go to a CrossFit gym, this is the workout of the day. It's called the Ramos.
Yeah, that should get
you
bigger.
actually go to like
I'm trying.
or just buy it. That's the Ramos Gin Fizz.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, one more time.
Oh.
All right, so that should be good. Okay.
I hope I don't like this cocktail, so I don't have to do this every day.
Yeah. Open your soda water. All right, so you want to pour from pretty high so that you're aerating it as it hits the glass. You also want to pour so that the soda water and the fizz, they actually touch. And that's going to help it to foam up. Okay, so I'll do one final shake. And then, okay, so let me show you how I do this. So you pour so that the streams intersect, okay?
Across the streams.
And then you have to let it sit for about a minute. And when you let it sit, you're going to see the foam kind of settle, and it's going to shrink. It's going to come up to about here. So
So
just let it sit.
is there a target of how much soda water? How much?
I use about half of the bottle. So they're not equal. It's about 50-50 for me. So there's still some left in the shaker, by the way. There's still some in the cocktail left.
So Michael, you pour it until it gets like just about the top. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, okay, so it's not finished, so don't drink it yet. Just let it sit, and the foam's gonna settle. Everyone okay?
Can we make an ice cream float after this?
Yeah, sure. Make do a gin orange flower water ice cream. That'd be pretty tasty.
Ooh.
All right, so you can probably see that the head is coming up and it's getting more dense. Some of the bubbles are settling in, which is what you want. So we'll wait another 20 seconds, 30 seconds or so. All right, and then so what I do, and you don't have to do this, but because I want to pour perfectly down the middle, I don't want it to go sideways or anything because that can make the foam topple over. I actually pour everything into a beaker with a spout so that I can actually pour straight down. And you don't have to do that, but that's just the way I do it. And so I'm going to pour everything in here, whatever's left. And I'm also going to add my soda. All right, and so now here's the tricky part. And again, I don't do this perfectly every time. It can be a little tricky. You want to pour straight down, right in the center. And if you see it tilting, then you'll correct it by pouring kind of the other direction, okay? And we're just trying to get the foam really as high as we can go. So it's something like this. Now that's the first round. I'll wait a second and then I'll pour a little bit more. So let's see how you go. Yeah, then I'll just pour a little bit more.
It's like a little souffle.
Yeah. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Let's see. Boom. It's about 2.5 inches for me. Yes.
Nice. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And then, of course, the best part is when you drink it, you'll get a mustache on your nose. Yes.
How's everyone's Ramos Gin Fizz?
You want to make a good mustache?
Oh, our day! Look at that. That is you could put a playing card on top of that thing.
Yeah, Ramos Gin Fizz.
Very fizzy.
Time for the mustache. Oh, that's good. That's really good. What do you think, Arnie? Is it worth the markup?
It's too sweet.
Also, I should just say that right now the weather in Chicago just got really dramatic. So
Yeah.
the lightning flashing in the back and.
You getting slammed by the downpour?
How's everyone's Ramos Gin Fizz? Is it worth the markup, guys?
This is really good. Really good.
Yeah, that looks great. Jenna, are you still?
It looks good. It's good. I didn't have the orange blossom,
Okay.
whatever, so I skipped it.
I
I put in the tiniest bit of orange liqueur as suggested by Cameron when I was texting her earlier.
Oh, nice.
But she was like, you could leave it out altogether.
Yeah, orange liqueur or bitters. Either
what
one.
about the foam in here?
I could drink it, I guess.
That's good.
I like
It's
how
not-
you guys are just eating like,
It's not.
it's awesome.
Awesome drink.
I'm a fan.
Anyway, that's Gin Fizz, so.
Did you guys see yourself doing this for brunch?
I think we should all invest in a machine that does it for you.
I'm thinking breakfast, egg white omelet.
Yeah, use the yolk that you got from separating the egg white and just like fry that up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
I don't know if I can have a 5 egg yolk breakfast.
This is more like have an egg white omelet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Put a mint garnish on it, and yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that we were able to do this thing together and do something kind of hard when it comes to cocktail land. Cheers, guys.
It's very impressive and very healthy.
There's mineral water, seltzer, and there's egg white.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. And I usually don't like drink with bags.
I'm still so
You-
surprised.
I feel like you can't even tell the egg's there.
Yeah. Well, it's just like this.
It just tastes like a really good Tom Collins, but with like a big chunk of.
I like the orange water. I'm a sucker for orange blossom water.
Yeah. Kind of chocolate.
It existed until this week.
Not gonna lie, I had one moment of doubt because I was like, this smells like soap. But
Yeah.
Michael, is there like anything interesting about like the history of this cocktail or anything that we should? I don't really know too much about it other than.
Well, I mean, so I think, well, I'm not sure how much of this is legend, but the guy who invented it, he hired like 12, probably at the wrong time to say, he hired like 12 black boys behind the whose sole job it was to shake. And they needed 12 because one guy would get tired and they'd pass it to the next guy. And they would shake it for like 12 minutes. That was his secret, apparently. So it's good to have a partner. So when I do it, usually it's not for myself, I will pass around the shaker.
You just do it like in a small group, like a little round, and then like when the music stops, like you get to be the one to drink it.
Your gin tribe.
So I wanted to take a minute to go around a little bit, and like especially for those of us who've been on a couple of these, like I'd like to hear, what's one thing, what was your favorite thing out of all of these cocktail sessions, or maybe like what's one thing that you're kind of taking away from that you're gonna carry with you in your future cocktail endeavors.
I found the Black Manhattan interesting because you could fuck with it so much. You could just change the ingredients. What's your core booze and mix? I mean, it's a very flexible recipe. I found that one a lot of fun, basing it on whiskey or rum or whatever, and then mixing in other components to kind of shape it.
What other variations have you been drinking?
I did well. So we started with we used the rye, and then I did some dark rum variations, and then also kind of building on what we had done with some of the other sessions, a white and dark rum, and then kind of mixing in the Avernas or the. What it is.
You're like you're away from making it a tiki cocktail at that point.
Yeah, and it kind of it was fun to kind of experiment with, to get the different flavors out of it. Just it was very flexible. It was kind of like what you had sitting on your bar top, and you could kind of like build something. As long as you knew the structure, you could build whatever.
Absolutely. How about the rest of you guys?
I like learning the individual techniques, of which like I learned how to shake properly. I hope. Somebody taught me how to shake properly. I don't know if I learned it absolutely, but I learned how to cut a line better into a better way. Each individual technique, I think I like the most. There's also like tidbits of information. I think today you're like, you can add, you add extra, more sugar than what one would typically do. And the reasoning behind that, which then I can take away and like, oh, it's actually not too bad to like put too much sugar, because I tend to be on the salt side. This one, I don't even taste the sugar on this one at all. So hearing that before and then tasting it immediately afterwards is really interesting for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Now that you've got like this toolkit of skills, if you read a recipe or something, then like you know exactly what to do.
I'd say this has to be my favorite drink because it's the most whimsical out of all of them. It's a great drink to kind of put on a show for people and, have them try something different, even if they're into mixology. It's just not a drink that a lot of people have had.
Which drink?
This one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll in a future one we'll get one of our friends to teach Blue Blazers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Blazer is basically a drink in which you've got two silver pitchers, and it's a very high alcohol proof drink, and you light it on fire, and then you pour it back and forth like the stream. You usually turn off the lights when you do it. You pour like this flaming stream back and forth until like the flame is out, and that's like essentially to cool the drink. And it is like a recipe for disaster.
The lawyer in me is like really kind of freaking out about that.
Chicago Fire
Everyone has like renter's insurance and has checked their homeowner policy and.
Yeah, I mean,
that's nice. You're really impressive without people vomiting in your front hall.
Yeah, Amit, who taught our daiquiri class, is famous for his Blue Blazers. Yeah, and Jen seems like.
So Curtis just surprised me with these because I'm always afraid of like incinerating my entire body in the oven, and so it's like I'm better prepared for flaming drinks now.
Silicone gun, can't beat silicone.
Once I was, and then our friend Jeremy, who taught the Black Manhattan class, tried to do it once and like spilled a bunch on his hand, and that was like a good time.
Makes for a good story, I guess.
Problem is alcohol flame, you don't always see it.
Yeah, it's like, how I lost these eyebrows?
Is that like
so? Well, there's this story here.
So. Yeah. I used to have a mane until that horrible like.
It was. Yeah.
It was like Kurt's story of self-emulate, like what is it called, emulation?
There was the Everclear incident. We don't talk about it
much. I have like a restraining order against talking about it. It'll cost me a lot of money if I were to.
How about the rest of y'all? What have you learned? What have you enjoyed?
Well, I definitely missed the class where we learned how to use the shaker. So hopefully someone can make a note on the spreadsheet. But I really enjoyed the pouring part of this one. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And usually I don't like fizzy drinks, but this was good.
Well, it's fun because the nucleation, the pouring actually pulls the effervescence. It builds the effervescence into the head with the egg white, but then the drink itself is not bubbly.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, like the agents are there to like stabilize the protein structure, but you've also got fat. Oh, sorry, Michael, go ahead.
No, I'm really not sure because I'm not Cam who just knows everything, but there's got to be some kind of chemical reaction between the soda, which which is actually acidic, right? So, and the way that it interacts with the egg white, when you kind of like force it down together, then somehow it foams up like triple the size of without foam. I'm not sure how that works, but
it's nucleization, but it's what is the soda water? It needs points to foam against to build up that head, and somehow it's what you're building with the egg white and the citrus. That's it's brilliant.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever heard you say.
No, nucleization. It's like putting a Mentos in a Pepsi bottle.
A lot of weird things.
Same thing.
Well, I agree with everything that's been said. I also want to add that I feel like the daiquiri has been my tied with the Black Manhattan most repeated lesson. And I would have said before that I was not a daiquiri girl.
Do you have a favorite one, like out of the three that we tried?
I think my favorite is the simple syrup and just white rum. The aged rum is also really good